Are you ready to turn those humble gizzards into a mouth-watering masterpiece like this? Let's dive in. Always start off by washing your gizzard because sometimes they contain sand. So wash them and then we'll boil them. I usually just boil it with salt and that's it. I'll add ginger and garlic later. I was always taught that the first water you boil your gizzards with should be discarded. So I poured that out and I cut the gizzards into two, making it bite-sized. And then I added just a little water, not too much. Once the water has remained kidogo, like maji imechemka, imebaki kidogo, you can add in your onions and let it simmer with the remaining water until it's a bit dry. You can also add in your oil at this point so that when the water has cooked through, the gizzards do not stick on your pot. So add in a little oil and let them fry so that this water can be cooked through. Yeah. Keep stirring to avoid it from sticking at the bottom, but this is the reason we added oil. It will help. So it will start frying with a little oil and the onions, but it won't like burn. That's the purpose. So once you're at this stage, fry it, keep stirring until you achieve a good golden brown color. That's the goal. Once you have no water remaining, go in with your ginger and garlic paste. This makes all the difference. The flavor that this adds to your food is on another level. So just add in your ginger and garlic and keep stirring. Let it fry. Golden brown is the color that we want. As you can see, some pieces are getting a brown color to it. That's what you are looking for. Just keep repeating this until you are impressed by the brown color on your gizzards, and then we'll add in our tomatoes. I prefer, you can use blended or you can just cut them, whatever you prefer, but there is this chopper I used to cut my tomatoes and it gives them a perfect consistency, making it easier for them to cook through. So you can either blend them or cut them, your choice. I also added in green bell peppers for extra taste. You can also blend it up or just dice them up, depending on how you like them, because some people like it raw. You can add it at the end when you're adding coriander, or if you want them cooked through, you can add them at this point with your tomatoes. Let your tomatoes simmer through, because this will give you a thicker stew than just adding water immediately you've added your tomatoes. Just let it cook through. And also always scrape the bottom of your pan. That's where the flavor is. So just let your tomatoes cook. I don't add water at this point. I always just let my tomatoes cook through, because once they cook, they usually become thicker, and that makes you have a thicker stew. So just let it simmer until it's well reduced. You know that point that your tomatoes are reduced, that you can't see any liquid? You know that's the correct time to add in your water. As you can see here, no water was added. This is the water from the tomatoes. Just let it simmer through. Let it cook through until you see that all the water that comes from the tomatoes are like cooked off, like imechemka hadi hiyo maji imeisha. That's what you are going for. You see how it thickens up, and this is not even at the point where I add water. I still let it cook through. So if you always cook stews and you get like runny soup, just know adding water immediately you add your tomatoes is where you are messing at. So just let it cook and let it thicken up. Guys, see how thick it becomes. I forgot to tell you something. In this recipe, I didn't use any like spice, like grounded spice. I only used ginger, garlic, bell peppers, and tomatoes. So if you like simple meals, this is your go-to way to making your stews. Now this is what I'm talking about. Can you see that? Can you see the magic letting your tomatoes cook does? This is what I am telling you guys. Now at this point, when there is no water, you can add in your water for your soup. Not too much. We are not trying to make a river, just a little. And you can see how thick that soup becomes. Let this simmer for a minute or two. You can cover it up, and then after a minute or two, you can add in your coriander and then serve it up with your condiment. I was cooking rice on the other side. That's why you can see a peep of white. That's what we eat our gizzards with. Add in your coriander, stir it up, and remove it out of fire, because coriander will still steam with whatever heat is still in your food. Guys, see beauty. And guys, that's how you make tender, flavorful gizzards that will have everyone coming back for seconds. See beauty. Anyway, served it up with rice, and it was delicious. Please try this out and let me know how it goes. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.